we're a consortium of 8 providers, but we are part of a wider piece of work. So the London Mayor's funding was basically aimed at reducing reoffending, and there was 6 specifications within that. So specification 1 was the Heron Daedalus model, which was enhanced resettlement support on a wing in Feltham. Specification 2 was our resettlement service, which basically is 2 providers, Catch-22 and Nacro, that share London. We've then got Spec 3, which provided the same resettlement support to young women, headed up by Serco, and Spec 4, which was aimed at 18 to 19-year-olds young people in the community on probation orders, headed up by Probation Trust and St Giles. So we're quite a wide spectrum of work, and I think the principal aim of these agencies coming together on this sort of pilot was to really test how we can reduce reoffending and look at the different service delivery models that might be able to provide a coordinated approach to resettlement and reduce reoffending. What we want to ensure as a service is that young people have access to a service that's relevant to them. What I guess we don't want to say is there's a one-size-fits-all approach, and that we think the Nacro model is the best model, or we think the Goals model is the best model. What we instead want to do is look at young people's individual needs and say, here's a range of service, what is best suited for you? And I think that's really important, because London is such a diverse area. Young people from South London will have a very different experience of offending from young people in North London, for example. So it's about having access to services that have got a really in-depth knowledge of localised need and of the issues that affect people in those local communities. So I think the main aims for our service is to, yes, we want to reduce reoffending and we want to provide resettlement support, but also we want to be a service that's adaptable to young people's individual needs. I think one of the key challenges that Nacro, as the prime contractor, found when we first took this service on was the sheer number of young people that were gang affected in London. We've worked in offending for over 40 years, so we know what happens in terms of the context of crime and offending. But I think this was a really unique finding for us, in just the sheer volume of young people that were gang affected. By gang affected, I don't necessarily mean being part of a gang, but maybe there was a gang on their local estate, or their cousin was in a gang, their brother was in a gang, and there's different connotations that come with that. It's a different culture, and there's different different support needs that young people have.